Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Sri Krishna Chaitanya book compilation given by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on January 28th, 2021 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Angulangayategarim Yatithatavan Vande Sri Guru Nidasanam Parvanandavalavam Sri Chaitanya Ishram Harihi Om Tat Sat. The compilation of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu book.
Compilation of the Sri Krishna Chaitanya book.
Today's chapter is titled
Today's chapter is titled The Limit of the Goal of Human Life.
এই পর্যন্ত রাধাকৃষ্ণ তত্ত্ব, এখনের রস প্রেম তত্ত্ব বর্ণারম্ভ। প্রভু কয়ে জানিল কৃষ্ণ রাধা প্রেম তত্ত্ব, শুনিতে চাহিহে দোহার বিলাস মাহাত্ম্য।
Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, "Now I have come to understand the truth of the loving affairs between Radha and Krishna. Nonetheless, I still want to hear how both of them gloriously enjoy such love."
Lord Chaitanya deeper and deeper into the understanding
Lord Chaitanya is going deeper and deeper into the understanding
of the relationship between Radha and Krishna.
Of the relationship between Radha and Krishna.
How they exchange love.
How they exchange love.
How they enjoy their transcendental love.
How they enjoy their transcendental love.
ব্রজের কিশোর কিশোরীর চরিত বর্ণ। রায় কহে কৃষ্ণ হয় ধীর ললিত, নিরন্তর কামক্রিয়া যাহার চরিত।
Rai Ramananda replied, Lord Krishna is Dhira Lalita, for he can always keep his girlfriends in a subjugated state. Thus his only business is enjoying sense gratification. Purport: we should always remember that Krishna's sense gratification is never to be compared to the sense gratification of the material world. As we have already explained, Krishna's sense gratification is just like gold. The perverted reflection of that sense gratification found in the material world is just like iron. The purport is that Krishna is not impersonal. He has all the desires that are manifest in the perverted reflection within this material world. However, the qualities are different. One is spiritual and the other is material. Just as there is a difference between life and death, there is a difference between spiritual sense gratification and material sense gratification.
Very important to understand that Krishna's transcendental sense gratification is completely different than the material sense gratification.
So it's very important that we understand Krishna's sense gratification is very different from material sense gratification.
Krishna is a person.
Krishna is a person.
He has senses.
He has senses.
He wants to enjoy.
He wants to enjoy.
And for the living entity, that's the highest state to be enjoyed by Krishna.
For the living entity, that's the highest state to be enjoyed by Krishna.
ভক্তি রসামৃত সিন্ধু 2:1-230। বিদগ্ধ নবতারুণ্য পরিহাস বিশারদ, নিশ্চিন্ত ধীর ললিত সাতপ্রায় প্রেয়সী বশ।
A person who is very cunning and always youthful, expert in joking and without anxiety, and who can keep his girlfriends always subjugated is called Dhira Lalita. Purport: this verse is from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2:1-2:30.
This is the definition of Krishna's quality and Dhira Lalita.
This is the definition of Krishna's quality of Dhira Lalita.
রাত্রি দিন কুঞ্জে ক্রিয়া করে রাধা সঙ্গে কৈশোর বয়স সফল কইল ক্রীড়া রঙ্গে রাধা সহ নিত্য বিলাস রত কৃষ্ণ
Day and night, Lord Shri Krishna enjoys the company of Srimati Radharani in the bushes of Vrindavan. Thus his pre-youthful age is fulfilled through his affairs with Srimati Radharani.
ভক্তি রসামৃত সিন্ধু 2:231 বাচা শুচিত সর্ববরি বরিতিকলা প্রগাল ভায়া রাধিকাং বীড়াকুঞ্জিত লোচনাং বীরচয়নগ্রে সখিনা মৌষ তদক্ষর রহ চিত্র কেলি মকরি পাণ্ডিত্য পারঙ্গত কৈশরং সফলিক রতি পলায়ন কুঞ্জে বিহার হরি
Thus, Lord Shri Krishna spoke of the sexual activities of the previous night. In this way, he made Srimati Radharani close her eyes out of shyness. Taking this opportunity, Shri Krishna painted various types of dolphins on her breast. Thus, he became a very expert artist for all the gopis. During such pastimes, the Lord enjoyed the fulfillment of his youth. This quotation is also found in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.1.119.
নিত্য চিন্ময় সেবা বিলাসের সর্বোত্তম অবস্থায় প্রেম বিলাস বিবর্ত উহা জড় নির্বিশেষ কেবলাদ্বৈত সিদ্ধ নহে প্রভু কয়ে ইহ হয় আগে কহ আর রায় কহে ইহা বই বুদ্ধি গতি নাহি আর
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "This is all right, but please continue." At that time, Rai Ramananda replied, "I don't think my intelligence goes beyond this."
So seems Ramananda Rai has reached his limit.
So it seems Ramananda Rai has reached its limit.
Yet Lord Chaitanya is pushing him more.
Yet Lord Chaitanya is pushing him more.
যেবা প্রেম বিলাস বিবর্ত এক হয় তাহা শুনি তোমার সুখ হয় কি না হয়
Rai Ramananda then informed Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that there was another topic known as Prema Vilasa Vivarta. You may hear of this from me. Ramananda Rai said, "But I do not know whether you will be happy with it or not." These statements are set forth for our understanding according to Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhasya. In essence, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Ramananda Rai, "My dear Ramananda, the explanation you have given about the goal of life and under the pastimes of Srimati Radharani and Krishna is certainly the truth. Although this is factual, you can continue telling me more if there is anything more to say." In reply, Ramananda Rai said, "I do not think I have anything to say beyond this, but there is a topic known as Prema Vilasa Vivarta which I may explain to you. I do not know whether it will bring you happiness or not."
Science of a relationship between Radha and Krishna is discussed in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, other book.
The science of relationship between Radha and Krishna is discussed in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and other books.
One of those aspects is Prem Vilasa Vivarta,
One of those aspects is Prem Vilasa Vivarta,
which will be explained by Ramananda Rai.
which will be explained by Ramananda Rai.
এত বলি আপন কৃত গীত এক গাহিল প্রেমে প্রভু সহস্তে তার মুখ আচ্ছা দিল
Saying this, Ramananda Raya began to sing a song he had composed. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of the ecstasy of love of Godhead, immediately covered Ramananda's mouth with his own hand. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The topics that are about to be discussed between Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Raya cannot be understood by a materialistic poet, nor by intelligence or material perception. Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur states that the spiritual mellow can be realized only when one is situated on the transcendental platform beyond the material stage of goodness. The platform is called Vishuddha Sattva. Realization of the Vishuddha Sattva platform is beyond the pale of the material world and is not perceived by bodily senses or mental speculation. Our identification with the gross body and subtle mind is different from spiritual understanding. Since the intelligence and mind are material, the loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are beyond their perception. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. When we are free from all material designations and our senses are completely purified by the bhakti process, we can understand the sense activities of the absolute truth. The spiritual senses are beyond the material senses. A materialist can think only of the negation of material variety. He cannot understand spiritual variety. He thinks that spiritual variety simply contradicts material variety and is a negation or void. But such conceptions cannot even reach the precincts of spiritual realization. The wonderful activities of the gross body and subtle mind are always imperfect. They are below the degree of spiritual understanding and are ephemeral. The spiritual mellow is eternally wonderful and is described as Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta, that is completely, perfectly, pure and eternally liberated from all material conceptions. When we are unable to fulfill our material desires, there is certainly sorrow and confusion. This may be described as vivarta, but in spiritual life there is no sorrow, inability or perfection. Sri Ramananda Raya was expert in realizing the spiritual activities of Srimati Radharani and Krishna. And Ramananda's spiritual experience was placed before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as he inquired whether the Lord approved his realization of spiritual truth. There are 3 books prominent in this connection. One was written by Bhakta Das Baul and is called Vivarta Vilasa. Another was compiled by Jagadananda Pandita and is called Prema Vivarta. Sri Ramananda Rai's book is called Prema Vilasa Vivarta. The Vivarta Vilasa by Bhakta Das Baul is completely different from other 2 books. Sometimes a university student or professor tries to study these transcendental literatures and attempts to put forth a critical analysis from the mundane view, with an end to receiving degrees like a PhD. Such realization is certainly different from that of Ramananda Raya. If one actually wants to take a PhD degree from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and be approved by Ramananda Raya, he must first become free from all material designations. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam. A person who identifies with his material body cannot understand these talks between Sri Ramananda Raya and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Man-made religious scriptures and transcendental philosophical talks are quite different. Indeed, there is a gulf of difference between the 2. This subject matter has been very diligently described by Sriman Madhavacharya. Since material philosophers are situated in the material conception of life, they are unable to realize the spiritual Prema Vilasa Vivarta. They cannot accommodate an elephant upon a dish. Similarly, mundane speculators cannot capture the spiritual elephant within their limited conception. It is just like a frog trying to measure the Atlantic Ocean by imagining it so many times larger than his well. Materialistic philosophers and sahajyas cannot understand the talks between Ramananda Raya and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu concerning the pastimes of Sri Radha and Krishna. The only tendency of the impersonalist or the Prakrita Sahajyas is to face the platform of impersonalism. They cannot understand spiritual variegatedness. Consequently, when Ramananda Raya attempted to sing his own verses, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped him by covering his mouth with his own hand.
These things were so confidential that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want Ramananda Raya to.
These things are so confidential that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't want Ramananda Raya to present these.
ভক্ত প্রেমী কৃষ্ণ বশ পদাবলিতে 1100 অঙ্ক ধৃত রামানন্দ রায় কৃত 16
Ramananda Rai continued, as long as there is hunger and thirst within the stomach, Varieties of food and drink make one feel very happy. Similarly, when the Lord is worshipped with pure love, the various activities performed in the course of that worship awaken transcendental bliss in the heart of the devotee. Hearing this, the Lord said, "This is irrelevant. Decide something else." Ramananda fell at the feet of the Lord, surrounding his feet with his long hair. His limbs slack with great bewilderment, he offered respects to the golden Lord, attractive as Cupid. Having fallen at his feet, he rose and felt great bliss. He then recited an attractive song which described the supreme prema of the loving couple.
রায় রামানন্দের স্বকৃত গান গীত।
Alas, before we met, there was an initial attachment between us, brought about by an exchange of glances. In this way, attachment evolved. That attachment has gradually grown. There is no limit to it. Now that attachment has become a natural sequence between ourselves. It is not that it is due to Krishna, the enjoyer, nor is it due to me, for I am the enjoyed. It is not like that. This attachment was made possible by mutual meeting. This mutual exchange of attraction is known as Manobhava or Cupid. Krishna's mind and my mind have merged together. Now during this time of separation, it is very difficult to explain these loving affairs. My dear friend, though Krishna might have forgotten all these things, you can understand and bring this message to him. But during our first meeting, there was no messenger between us, nor did I request anyone to see him. Indeed, Cupid's 5 arrows were our via media. Now during this separation, that attraction has increased to another ecstatic state. My dear friend, please act as a messenger on my behalf. Because if one is in love with a beautiful person, this is the consequence. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. These verses were originally composed and sung by Ramananda Rai himself. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur suggests that during the time of conjugal enjoyment, the attachment might be compared to Cupid himself. However, during the period of separation, Cupid becomes a messenger of highly elevated love. This is called Prema Vilasa Vivarta. When there is separation, conjugal enjoyment itself acts like a messenger, and that messenger was addressed by Srimati Radharani as a friend. The essence of this transaction is that transcendental loving affairs are as relishable during separation as during conjugal enjoyment. When Srimati Radharani was fully absorbed in love of Krishna, she mistook a black tamala tree for Krishna and embraced it. Such a mistake is called Prema Vilasa Vivarta.
So, in the material world, the enjoyment is only in the meeting.
So in the material world, the enjoyment is only in the meeting.
But here, it is explained that the enjoyment and spiritual love is both in meeting and in separation.
But here it is explained that enjoyment in the spiritual world is both in the meeting and in separation.
So, we cannot understand the spiritual enjoyment
So we cannot understand the spiritual enjoyment
unless one is completely free from material identification.
unless one is completely free from material identification.
Chaitanya.
Hearing the supreme description, the Lord, with blossoming lotus eyes, shivering with intense prema, embraced Ramananda in deep bliss. As they tossed around in the waves of firm embraces, with whirlpools in the ocean of happiness, like a great festival, time passed. As the Lord conversed for long periods with Ramananda, endowed with natural prema, some days passed. Then the Lord desired to see Jagannath.
পরস্পরের ভেদ ভ্রম দূরীভূত অবস্থা উজ্জ্বল নীলমণি 14:155।
O my Lord, you live in the forest of Govardhan Hill, and like the king of elephant, you are expert in the art of conjugal love. O Master of the universe, your heart and Srimati Radharani's heart are just like shellac and are now melted in your spiritual perspiration. Therefore, one can no longer distinguish between you and Srimati Radharani. Now you have mixed your newly invoked affection, which is like vermilion, with your melted hearts, and for the benefit of the whole world, you have painted both your hearts red within this great palace of the universe.
in Srila Prabhupada's room, he had a carving of Radha and Krishna.
In Srila Prabhupada's room, he had a carving of Radha and Krishna.
They're completely merged together.
They were completely merged together.
And he was saying that Radha and Krishna are of love.
He was saying that Radha and Krishna are in love.
They became one.
They became one.
And this is expressed here.
That is expressed here. Purport by Prabhupada. This verse quoted by Ramananda Raya is included in Sri Rupa Goswami's Ujjval Ninamani, Sthai Bhav Prakarana, verse 155.
এই পর্যন্ত সাধ্যাবধি প্রভু কয়ে সাধ্য বস্তুর অবধি এই হয় তোমার প্রসাদে ইহা জানিল নিশ্চয়।
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed these verses recited by Sri Ramananda Raya, saying, "This is the limit of goal of human life. Only by your mercy have I come to understand it conclusively."
So, since we are part of Krishna,
Since we are part of Krishna,
naturally our love and relation with Krishna is highest limit.
naturally our love and relationship with Krishna is the highest limit
Of the goal of human life.
of the goal of human life.
And in each relationship, the person of that particular relationship
For each relationship, the person for that particular relationship
feels he has achieved the highest thing.
appears that he has achieved the highest thing.
But if we see objectively,
If we see objectively,
then friendship includes everything of servitude, what more?
then friendship includes everything of servitude and more.
But paternal affection includes everything of friendship, what more?
But parental affection includes everything of friendship and more.
But conjugal love includes everything of the previous rasas, what more?
But conjugal relationships, everything of the previous rasas and more.
So, like that, Ramananda Raya is explaining the highest perfection of love between Radha and Krishna.
So like that, Ramananda Raya is explaining the highest perfection of love between Radha and Krishna.
And so the gopis in Vrindavan can also achieve that to some extent.
So the gopis in Vrindavan can also achieve that to some extent. Thus ends the chapter entitled The Limit of the Goal of Human Life.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.